Hello everybody and welcome back to Performance on Wheels. This is our 2022 BMW M240i that we have owned for almost a year now. So that means shortly our 1-year wrap-up video is going to be coming out, but in today's video we're going to be talking about what it is like driving the M240i through 4 seasons.
When I first purchased the X-Drive M240i, even though it was an X-Drive, it was my anticipation that this would be a garage queen during the winter time. But as I looked across the marketplace and the truth set in of the BMW depreciation, buying one new, I thought, what the heck? Let's get out and party.
We do have a couple of videos talking about the M240i G42 platform before this one, so check out the link in the corner and you can check out our playlist on that. However, one of those videos was you claiming this is the best sports car under $50,000. Do you still feel that way?
Good question. We should touch base on that because that's really why I bought the car. Cruising the marketplace, what was the best thing out there for performance, efficiency, reliability, comfort, tech? And yes, it's very true. The only argument you could have now is the M240i is actually available in rear-wheel drive only. When I purchased this in 2022, it was all-wheel drive or X-Drive only, so there is a substantial difference there. And I would have to fully drive that rear-wheel drive version to fully be able to tell you the difference. However, I don't know that I would be enjoying the X-Drive in the winter time like I am now if I had the rear-wheel drive version. So let's get into that. I would absolutely still argue that the M240i is the best sports car on the market. There's some pretty slick competition out there. For example, Car and Driver just recently put out their yearly lightning lap, which again, the M240i had another go at it because last year they didn't have the proper tires and there wasn't ideal driving conditions. So at approximately a 3-minute lightning lap, the M240i X-Drive had very similar times to vehicles such as the Honda Civic Type R, as well as the new-to-market Toyota Corolla GR, is that proper?
Yep.
The other cars, so the next closest cars that they had on the market, 6 seconds slower than the M240i X-Drive was Honda's Kona inline as well as the Elantra inline, and then 6 seconds faster than the M240i was the Cadillac CT4 Blackwing. So kind of interesting where the M240i falls in if you're merely looking at this car from a performance standpoint.
Yeah.
However, I don't know that this car should be looked at as solely a performance standpoint vehicle. That is why we have the M2 that has also came to market since I bought the M240i X-Drive. So me being the car enthusiast, I'd absolutely want that raw power, but also knowing that I want a daily driver in a state that is full of snow. I have to question what the right move is, bringing me back to the fact that the M240i X-Drive is the best sports car that you could daily drive on the market today in 2023.
This M240i features X-Drive like we have been mentioning. And during summer, the X-Drive system on this thing is incredibly rear biased. It is super easy to get the back end out at lower speeds and control it. It's a lot of fun. It's very enthusiast driven, you can tell, and it's a really good time driving it on dry pavement. Granted, I think with some stickier tires on it, you probably wouldn't be able to get the back end out because it does come without the performance pack, some Bridgestone all-season tires, which during this winter are okay. They're not the greatest thing in the world, but they get you where you need to go, and the traction control system does a very good job of getting you where you need to go and managing that power delivery. However, with some winter tires on this thing, it would be absolutely unstoppable during the winter. But just with the X-Drive system, that B58 with all the torque that it has, the power slides, it's easy to shut off traction control in all the nannies. this thing is just a monster. If you had a set of winter tires, if you had a set of summer tires, and you got a tune on this thing, it would be the ultimate year-round car.
Yeah, so really there's three negatives that come to mind if you are buying this car from an enthusiast standpoint. That's the fact that you can't like do a burnout, right?
No,
you can't like super easily drift this thing and hang a drift out because that traction control, the all-wheel drive system will take over. And the last thing is, like, it's a little bit lighter. So being a rear-wheel drive would be a little lighter than the all-wheel drive. So around a track, you have that much more potential enjoyment with that less weight. However, everything else, like, there's no reason not to get this. If you're a stoplight warrior and you want to have the fastest car that pulls up to a stoplight, there's not going to be too many instances that you pull up to a stoplight and have something that can take on the launch control and the sub 4-second 0 to 60 time that the M240i xDrive can produce.
It is truly impressive, the 0 to 60 time of the M240i xDrive. However, it's a little bit lackluster after it does hit 60, and it does slow down a bit compared to some other cars on the road. So like I said, a tune on this thing just be an absolute monster.
It would be really good, but that's not where, like, what makes this car absolutely remarkable and why I'm continuing to enjoy it through all 4 seasons, the fuel efficiency. So
it's incredible. I noticed on your gauge today, it said you're averaging what, like 26?
26.3. That has come down a little bit as I'm using the heated seats and the heated steering wheel on a daily basis, and I'll touch base on that in just a second because that's actually something I'm not too thrilled about. But yeah, commuting to and from work, driving around, I'm only spending about $40 a week when premium gas is around $3.50 a gallon, like it's been sitting here in Minneapolis for quite some time. But when it comes to those really cold Minnesota days that we have, this is definitely a flaw that I see in the M240i and some other BMW products. And I'm comparing this to some Ford products where they absolutely have this figured out. You put on the heated seats in a Ford product, and they are burning your butt within a quarter mile of leaving your wherever you're leaving from. I have my heated steering wheel and my heated seats on, and it takes me a solid 15 minutes of driving before I'm completely up to temp and before I'm even recognizing the fact that my heated seats are on. So that is a little disappointing from a $50,000+ car that I'm not like fully comfortable in the car in wintertime for 15 or 20 minutes.
And that's not just an issue with this vehicle. I actually have a 2011 335, and I've experienced the exact same thing. My heated steering wheel, my heated seats, and the overall vehicle and temperature takes so long to get up to temp. Like, it's insane how long it takes. Granted, I don't know what the coolant temp is at because my 335 just tells me the oil temp for whatever reason. I don't have a coolant temp gauge, so I don't know when it's exactly up to temp, but I can just tell by the heat and the heated steering wheel and the heated seats. It's ridiculous how long it takes.
The other thing that bugs me a little bit about driving the car through all 4 seasons, using it as a daily driver, is just the lack of storage up in the cabin. So we're talking wintertime, and getting in the car with a bulky jacket on as you want to wear because it doesn't warm up on time, you start to feel a little cramped in there with a bulky jacket on. So I like driving the car without a jacket on because it's just more comfortable. But if I go to find my sunglasses, if I go to find my reading glasses, and I want both glasses, I don't really have any good spot to put them if I'm trying to keep track of any other items that I have in the minimal storage. I'm happy with the trunk storage. I'm happy with the fact that I can throw something in the back seat on like the Supra. However, just like within your reach and keeping things neat, that storage, it could be better. I'd like it to be a little better from a daily driving standpoint. Another thing worth mentioning that made the M240i intriguing to drive across all 4 seasons is the fact of the reliability. So you think it's a BMW and you hear all these insane maintenance costs, and that could be true. It absolutely could be.
It could be. However, this vehicle does feature the B58, which is pretty much at the absolute perfection of the inline-6 turbo, and that is paired to a ZF 8-speed transmission, which is at pretty much the perfection of a really good not dual clutch transmission that's reliable, which is also paired to a limited slip diff, which has been in a lot of BMWs. That's also super reliable. Same thing with the one in the front. So
right.
It's a really good platform that they have going here.
I don't want to say it's bulletproof, but it's probably almost to the point where you could call it a bulletproof drivetrain, a bulletproof car.
There's some people that have put some very impressive numbers through this engine with stock internals, and they stay reliable.
Yeah. So you talk about that from a daily driving standpoint, and yes, you have a very enjoyable place to not only listen through your Harman Kardon speakers that are incredible, but you'll also have the reliability to get you to and from your destinations on a daily basis.
We'll talk about this more in the 1-year update video, but out of all of the new cars you've had, out of the couple of new cars I've had, this is the only one with the amount of miles that have been put on it that has not had a singular issue. Not one. Nothing.
Not a glitch.
Not a glitch, not a seat tear, not a seat rub, nothing. Just perfect.
As we summarize this video, I'll just be honest here. I wanted this car when I initially bought it more on the auto enthusiast side of things, but it has turned into my daily driver throughout that period of almost a year of ownership, and I couldn't be happier from that standpoint. This car isn't necessarily made to be that track toy or that autocross. Not saying you can't go out and have a good time and use it for that, just further proving my point that it's the perfect daily driver. You have the reliability, the efficiency, the amazing place to be, but you can also still enjoy a track day or an autocross event, or maybe just some stoplight games.
That is going to wrap up the video today on talking about the M240i through all 4 seasons. However, we do have some other M240i videos that are planned. We also have the 335 in the garage now. We got some videos planned on that. So if those are some vehicles that you guys are interested in, please be sure to comment down below what video ideas you have for those. Also, be sure to hit like and hit subscribe. That way you see them when they come out next.
And if Dyna never gets their crap together, I still haven't completely thrown out the idea of some exhaust or a tune or lowering it, even daily driving. So we will see what the future holds in that regard.
Thank you guys so much, and we'll see you guys next time.